We're live here on Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, greatly appreciate all of you for tuning into our Philadelphia Eagles coverage. If you haven't subscribed, do so right now for year-round daily shows on the Birds. And now the Philadelphia Eagles enter a pivotal offseason with a lot of key decisions to make in the offseason and free agency, as well as in the NFL draft. And this is your one-stop shop for us to cover it all for you as we really inform you but also entertain you at the same time. Loaded live show on the docket today. I'm here with you. So is producer Trizzy Trace and the Fly Eagles Fly family as we all try to get over the Super Bowl 57 loss. It's hard to go back and watch the highlights. It's hard to talk about this football game. I was watching the end of the season press conference with Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman. Howie looked like a broken dude, which is really rare for him because oftentimes he's so confident in his abilities, but you can tell that this organization is stung by the way that game transpired and the fact that they know they let it slip away. So with that, our first question of our audience build-up segment, a lot of people getting that notification. They'll start to pile in. Then we'll start the official show. How sad are you on a scale of 1 to 100 about the Eagles Super Bowl loss? 1, I'm fine. 100, I'm in shambles. I'm in shambles. I'm typing my 100 right now. You let me know down in the comment section, and I have a feeling a lot of people are with me here. Beth Meisner, 100. Ernesto, 80. Let's see. Quersy, 100. Bluetooth, 100. I'm seeing a 101 from Yia. I totally agree. Dax, 1. You're good. Beth saying the 100 emoji a couple of times. Herbert saying 95. I'm glad that a lot of us are feeling similarly about this loss. All right, who is to blame for the loss against the Kansas City Chiefs? Is it Jonathan Gannon? Is it Jalen Hurts because of the scoop and score fumble? Is it the refs? Is it the grass? Give me a name down below.
Sodgate. It was Sodgate.
Sodgate's awful, man. Look, here's the thing. I understand that the Eagles and the Chiefs had to play on the same surface, right? But the Eagles had the clear advantage with their defensive line against the Chiefs' offensive line because they needed to get after Patrick Mahomes, and they weren't able to. Goose egg for sacks. What are the people saying? Herbert, Grass, and Gannon. Jace, defense. Dax, officials. Gannon, that's it from Lucas. I don't think the Eagles are going to miss him all that much. In fact, I think Kyle Shanahan's going to run laps around him in the NFC West. 80% it still hurts to that previous question from Maurice. ATM, Gannon and the refs. Beth, refs. Blessing, TJ Edwards. I actually thought he played a solid football game. Stranger, Gannon and that field. The field was terrible. A joke. Gannon and him being conservative. I like that from Blue Hunnets. Cool Rains, the refs. Good day, mate. Quersy, Gannon and the refs. Jones Boy is at a 100 for that loss still stinging. Beth Meisner said the refs. Next question. What's the Eagles' biggest offseason need? And I want you to continue to pepper the comment section here. When I look at the Eagles roster right now, there are 11 combined starters on the offensive side of the football and the defensive side of the football who are set to be free agents. And when you look at their biggest needs, I think cornerback is up there, safety is up there, linebacker, running back, wide receiver 3, but a lot of it depends on which players are going to come back. Now, Cool Rains, Beth, are with me in saying cornerback. Herbert said linebacker and corner. Jones Boy, the mad face emojis at the refs. Barron, cornerback. Nick Stone, welcome back, cornerback. Icy Production, secondary. Stranger, biggest need is how they are going to structure Hurts' contract and defensive coordinator. Good points there. Blessing said linebacker and corner. All needs for sure. Quersy, cornerback. Secondary and wide receiver 3 from RB. I agree on wide receiver 3. Quez Watkins didn't get it done this year. In fact, I thought he was very, very disappointing. Jason G, linebacker and corner. Lucas, a third wide receiver after AJ and Smith. It's a drop-off. Totally true. Backup quarterback for Dax You're on point with that, and we're going to talk about this Eagles offseason coming up. You don't want to miss it. Speaking of today's show, you want to get involved, couple of ways for you to do that. Use the hashtag Eagles, better yet Super Chat, because you'll be able to hop ahead of everybody else in line so that we can get your questions in first. My boy Peter Thurman, he said defensive end, cornerback, safety. I do think that of those three, a couple of them could be addressed in that first round at pick number 10 and pick number 30. Eagles fan 521, shout out to you. Defensive end, cornerback, wide receiver 3, and strong safety. Now, if you bring back Marcus Epps and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, no longer needs. Again, we're going to break that down coming up here down the road. Our Super Chat menu for today. If you want to donate to the show, we, of course, greatly appreciate it. $5 will spin the wheel. Usually we have that on the $10 slot, but giving you a little bit of a discount today. $10, we'll start sweating. We'll do some jumping jacks. $20, I'm going to do 20 push-ups. And $50, we will sing the No One Likes Us song. And I have a fan here to my right. I'm going to get that blowing on me because I think that we're going to be doing some jumping jacks today. So I don't want to start sweating, but make me sweat. It's all good. We're down to get a little workout in. And then after the show, we're down to get a little workout in. What'd you say, Triz? Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. Jones boys secondary, Random Ryan safety. Biggest thing is a defensive coordinator from RB. And who's it going to be? We're also going to give you an update on the defensive coordinator search as well. ATM, bring back Bradbury and Gardner-Johnson. We'll see if the Eagles can afford both. $8+ million in cap space as of right now, but they can do some contract restructures, and I do expect Howie Roseman to do that. All right, if you're ready for the show to officially get underway, if you're just piling in, stay tuned. 3-segment show coming your way. There's so much to discuss. If you're ready to talk birds, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. We have 102 people watching live right now, only 25 likes. Can we get the 50 likes before we start the show? Smash that thumbs up icon and like the video if you're ready to get started. Deborah Kaiser, the real one, is back. Shout out to License Break 13, Blessing, RB, William, Tariq Shell, B. Lizzle, John O'Malley, all in the chat right now. It's really great to see some new people who are here. So tell your friends and family members what we do here on Eagles Now so that we can continue to grow. Philly Big Dog 68, Vance Joseph required to be invited by the Eagles to be the defensive coordinator. That is not true. They're just interviewing him externally. But continue to get that comment section popping. Jace Tronzi said just restructure. They could do some contract restructures for sure. Russ Greco. Russ saying what up, Chase. We're 8 likes away from 50. I'm putting you to the test. 111 people watching live right now, 42 likes. Can we get to 50 before we start the show? Show the bosses that Eagles fans might be down and out because of that Super Bowl 57 loss, but we still bring the heat on the daily basis to show everybody that Eagles fans do it better than anybody else. 8 more. Icy Production knows what's up. We're 1 like away from 50. Can we get there? We did. Fly Eagles, fly, go Birds, EAGLES. And with that, let's officially get underway with our live show here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. So I want to start off today's show with this. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. I do want to gauge where this fan base is at because that loss in Super Bowl 57 was absolutely excruciating. And it's really hard to go back and even watch those highlights. But at the end of the day, 16-4 season combined in the regular season and in the playoffs, multiple All-Pros, and a Super Bowl berth to go along with an NFC Championship banner, which will be hung up at Lincoln Financial Field. So if you think the Eagles season was a success, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If you don't think it was a success because the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl, and that is the ultimate goal, I want you to comment why. As always, we appreciate your feedback. As for what we're discussing on today's show, appreciate all of you for rocking and rolling with us. The Philadelphia Eagles signing 9 players to their roster who could really compete to make the 53 next summer in training camp. Philadelphia also interviewing an interesting defensive coordinator. We'll get into that. The Eagles' offensive coordinator search looks to be limited to one guy. Who is it? We'll tell you more. And Lane Johnson undergoing surgery. But we begin with the latest Eagles roster moves. The Birds signing 9 players to futures contracts per the NFL transaction report. As for who those players are, we're going to run through this list, but also give you some background on all 9 of these guys because no other YouTube channel is doing what we're doing right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. So those players being signed to those futures deals: wide receiver Devon Allen, wide receiver Tyrie Cleveland, offensive guard Sua Opeta, offensive tackle Fred Johnson, another offensive tackle in Roderick Johnson. Tarron Jackson, the defensive end, has also been signed to a deal. So too has Matt Leo at that same position. Former third-round pick Davion Taylor is being brought back to compete for a roster spot and at least be a training camp body. And Mario Goodrich, the defensive back, also being signed to a deal. As for some background on these players, we know Devon Allen pretty well. The Olympic speedster had that great touchdown catch in the NFL preseason in which he took the top off of the defense. I'd love to see his role maybe expand to special teams. That might give him an opportunity to crack that 53. Tyrie Cleveland had some really good size at that receiver spot, was a 7th-round pick by the Denver Broncos in 2020. For Sua Opeta, we've seen him play a lot for Philadelphia as compared to some of these other players. 25 games and 4 starts. Fred Johnson, good size at 6'7", 325 pounds, was a UDFA back in 2019. Roderick Johnson was drafted by the Browns in 2017 as a 5th-round pick, has really struggled to maintain a roster spot throughout his NFL career. Jackson, drafted by the Eagles in the 6th round in 2021. Matt Leo has been a long-term practice squad legend, but hasn't been able to crack consistent playing time or the 53. For Davion Taylor, really good athleticism, but his instincts are terrible. Prior to the preseason games, he was playing well in some of those practices, but when you lack instincts, that's of course a problem. And Mario Goodrich, very well known for putting in the Eagles locker room, a UDFA long-term practice squatter. As for the Eagles defensive coordinator search, Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman did address the media today at their post-season press conference, and Nick Sirianni said, what I love about being a coach is being able to elevate some of the assistant coaches because that's the point of building a coaching staff. But we will look externally for defensive coordinator. Didn't really talk about offensive coordinator in that way because if you read the tea leaves, it looks as though it's going to be Brian Johnson. But this here is pretty interesting. This guy to my right, Philadelphia interviewing Vance Joseph for that vacant spot that was left open because Jonathan Gannon went to Vance Joseph's former workplace in the Arizona Cardinals. Adam Schefter was on this. So too was Josina Anderson, longtime NFL insider, who said Vance Joseph not only has an interview request from the Broncos for defensive coordinator, and the Broncos zeroing in on Rex Ryan, by the way. I'm told the Eagles have interest in speaking with Joseph as well and are expected to request an interview pending his meetings today, per source. And Joseph does have somewhat of a questionable track record when he's been a defensive coordinator in this league. And from 2017 to 2019, he was the head coach for the Denver Broncos. But when he was the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, 20th in DVOA, points per game allowed, tied for 24th. After getting fired by Denver in 2019, he then joined forces with the Arizona Cardinals that season, 20th in DVOA, points per game 28th. His best 2 seasons in 2020 and 2021, where the Cardinals were 10th in DVOA, 10th in points per game, and then the following season, 6th in DVOA, 10th in points per game, and then last year with Arizona under Cliff Kingsbury, 24th in DVOA, as that defense suffered a lot of injuries and dead last in points per game as the culture there in the desert. Awful for Arizona, and that's why they brought in Jonathan Gannon to try to right the ship. So we're going to get into a list of other defensive coordinator options for Philadelphia, but I do want to see who you want to be the Eagles defensive coordinator because the fans sometimes have a say in these matters. Let us know and share your thoughts down in the comment section. Other Eagles defensive coordinator candidates that I've seen announced and some names that are kind of picking up steam here. Denard Wilson, he's the current Eagles defensive backs coach and the pass game specialist. When I interviewed C.J. Gardner-Johnson last week at the Super Bowl, I asked him how he was able to make that transition so seamlessly from slot cornerback to safety. He pointed to his right, and he said Denard Wilson, he's that guy. And a lot of players on this Eagles defense really like him. Nick Sirianni's high on him. So as far as an internal hire goes, Denard Wilson is certainly a name to watch. So too is Nick Rallis, who's the Eagles linebackers coach. Sean Desai went to Temple University and coached there, Seahawks associate head coach. He's been rumored to maybe garner some interest from Philadelphia. Chris Richard was with the Seahawks during the Legion of Boom days. He just got let go by the New Orleans Saints. He was the former Saints co-defensive coordinator. And then Peter Hansen has come up under Vic Fangio. He was with the Broncos last year and then decided to go with Carolina to work under Frank Reich with Avero. He's the Panthers linebackers coach right now. That is a name who the Eagles are said to be high on. That report came from Jeff McClain of the Philadelphia Inquirer. Now make sure you subscribe to the channel, because when the Eagles make a roster move, when they hire a coach, we're going to talk about it here, and we have you covered every step of the way during this pivotal Eagles offseason that hopefully results in a Super Bowl 58 championship. We're less than 500 people away from 42,000 subscribers, so make sure you lock us in and subscribe today. From the defensive coordinator search to the offensive coordinator search, who will the Eagles hire after Shane Steichen took the Indianapolis Colts head coaching job? It looks as though there is one name to think about and one name only, and it's a guy who we've been talking about for a couple of months here. It's Brian Johnson, who currently holds the post of Eagles quarterbacks coach. Adam Schefter said this: the offensive coordinator is going to be Brian Johnson. That I don't think there's any question there. That you can take to the bank, basically. For Adam Schefter to say that so definitively tells me that's going to be the move, and that's why I've been so confident in Nick Sirianni hiring him. And Sirianni did say today there are good options in-house for DC and OC. They will also look externally for what's best for this football team, but I think he was more so talking about defensive coordinator, not offensive coordinator. And we talked about this for months because it makes too much sense. Adam Schefter also said that Brian Johnson could have handpicked which team he could have gone to for offensive coordinator jobs if Shane Steichen were not to leave. And if the name sounds familiar and the face sounds familiar, Brian Johnson had a great career playing quarterback at Utah. He was actually the cover guy of NCAA Football 2010. I'm looking forward to that video game actually coming back to the forefront, but won a huge Sugar Bowl game with Utah back in the day, and that's actually where he got his coaching start after his professional career fizzled out to a certain degree. 2010 to 2013, he was a quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator for the Utes. Then he went to the SEC, Mississippi State to be specific, and he worked with Dak Prescott there as a quarterbacks coach with Mississippi State. He goes to Houston. He becomes the youngest offensive coordinator in college football in 2017, where he was also the quarterbacks coach. Went to Florida as the OC and quarterbacks coach, so the same job there that he had in Houston, and the last 2 seasons has been the quarterbacks coach for Philadelphia. And another reason why I think this makes a lot of sense is because Jalen Hurts seemingly wants it to happen. And if you're going to lock up Jalen Hurts to a long-term contract extension, you want to gauge who he wants to work with and who's in his ear as the Philadelphia Eagles play caller. And for Brian Johnson, he's very familiar with this offense and how it works and the intricacies of it. Here's what Hurts had to say last week in Arizona about Brian Johnson. It's a very special relationship that I have with him that dates back to my younger days, being a 5-year-old kid, a 4-year-old kid running around at Robert E. Lee High School, where my dad used to coach Brian Johnson, and my dad was the mentor for Brian Johnson. I've always wanted to play for him, always wanted to be coached by him, and kind of was delayed not going to Mississippi State, for me not going to Florida, but everything worked itself out. Definitely looking forward to what the future holds. So is Jalen Hurts basically saying in the lead up to the Super Bowl that the future could be Brian Johnson as the next head coach because he knew that Shane Steichen was going to go to Indy? Maybe. So Jalen Hurts in 2023 with a new offensive coordinator. In 2022, runner-up to Patrick Mahomes for the league's MVP. Will he be better with some offseason change? Will he be worse? Will he be the same BWS. Let us know down below in the comment section. We appreciate your comments. Let's round out with this. Lane Johnson undergoing surgery. He posted this on social media, a picture of him on a hospital bed on Thursday, expected to be a 10 to 12-week recovery. As for his future, he's really tight with Jay Glazer. And I caught up with Jay Glazer. I asked him, is Lane Johnson going to retire this year or in the future? And Jay Glazer said, I don't see Lane retiring, man. Lane is now being regarded as the best tackle in the league, and I think he's going to thrive there for a while. That's a direct quote from Jay Glazer, who does some martial arts training with Lane Johnson throughout the offseason, and they're really good buddies. Now, that's interesting for a couple of reasons, because Lane did say prior to the year and during the season, he could see himself playing for 2, maybe 3 more years, but has that tune kind of shifted a little bit because he's been so dominant? Of course, for Lane, he's dealt with some injuries throughout his career, so hopefully he's able to avoid the injury bug and continue to hold it down as the anchor on that right side of the line of scrimmage. All right, appreciate all of you for watching that particular segment. We're going to continue to keep it moving here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. More than 200 people watching live. Can we get to 100 likes with an audience spike? Bird Gang, show up, show out. Make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and like the video if you're enjoying today's show. 76 likes. Make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and you like the video. Shout out to Killian Nope, You're Funny, Mr. Awesome Guy, Ryan Santos, John O'Malley, Blessing, Philly Big Dog, You're Funny, all in the comment section right now. If you want to join the show, use the hashtag Eagles, better yet, Super Chat, so that we can answer your questions, answer your hot takes, and so that this can be a therapy session after that Super Bowl defeat on Sunday. Super Chat menu for today. Let's get it. $5 will spin the wheel. $10 jumping jacks. $20 we'll do some push-ups. $50 we will sing No One Likes Us, No One Likes Us, because I have a feeling a lot of people still don't like a lot of Eagles fans out there, but let's rally behind it and let's show them that we don't care. All right. Killian Nope, Alexander Harris, what it do? Can we get to 100 likes before our next segment? Make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. We're 8 likes away from 100. 194 people watching live. Killian Nope said, who is with you? Producer Trizzy Trace is here.
Who else would it be?
Who else would it be? Mr. Psycho said, yo, what's up, man? What's up, Mr. Psycho?
All right, so I just heard our Browns studio just going absolutely crazy. Somebody sent in a $100 super chat to Matthew Peterson and the Browns.
No way, really?
Swear.
Wow.
I heard him yelling $100. So, I mean, if we get $100, I bet we yell louder. I bet we go even crazier.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So,
just saying.
Matthew Peterson on the Browns report got a $100 super chat, and it's the Browns? This is the Philadelphia Eagles, the NFC champs?
It's disgusting. It's the Browns.
Vince CR, Chase, are you guys from Philly? I am. I'm from Westchester, right outside of the city. And then we have Trizzy, who's from Texas here. He's our adopted Eagles fan. And it was actually Sperry who got a $100 super chat. It was
Sperry?
Sperry got a $100 super chat. On Pittsburgh Steelers talk.
Okay.
What?
All right, so who really runs Pennsylvania? Is it going to be Philly or Pittsburgh? We can't let a Pittsburgh fraud. This kid, let me just say this. This kid said that if the Vikings, he covers the Steelers. He said if the Vikings and the Steelers were to play, he'd cheer on the Steelers, but he grew up a Vikings fan. Fake fan.
What a fraud.
Fake fan.
What a fraud.
We can't
Check out
let that
Elijah.
happen.
Elijah in the comment section using that hashtag Eagles. You love to see it. So too is John O'Malley using the hashtag Eagles. No super chats yet. So for the first super chat that comes in, we're going to give you a custom graphic just for you. As for what we're getting into next on the show, taking a look at some Eagles free agent targets. Some of the players who the Eagles are going to target in NFL free agency, they have a lot of their own free agents who are set to hit the open market. Let's take a look at some other players who the Eagles might bring in to bolster this roster. Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles now, we're going to take a look at some of the top Eagles free agent targets. Now, there are 11 combined starters offensively and defensively for the Birds who are set to hit the free agent market. But the purpose of today's show, looking at some of those players, of course, who the Eagles could bring back, but some of the other players on the other 31 teams across the National Football League. A reminder, though, earlier this week, I put together the perfect Eagles offseason plan so that the Birds and Howie Roseman could really perfect this offseason so that they can get back to the Super Bowl, but this time we don't have to deal with the catastrophic defeat. They can actually win the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. Make sure you check that video out for those of you who did watch it. We do appreciate the support. As for my Eagles offseason needs, let's set the foundation with this to start. Couple of needs on this Eagles roster, but of course, this list can change depending on which free agents come back. By the way, free agency, less than a month away. So as of right now, I'd say that cornerback is a big need for Philadelphia for the reasons that we're about to talk about. Defensive tackle is a need. You could use another edge rusher on this squad. Safety, depending on what happens with Marcus Epps and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Linebacker, running back. I think wide receiver 3, regardless, is something of an area of focus that the Eagles need to hone in on because I've been disappointed by Quez Watkins, and then backup quarterback because Gardner Minshew's set to be a free agent. So the first positional group on this list is cornerback. And what do you know? Leading the top free agent cornerbacks list is James Bradberry of the Eagles. He said after the season wrapped up from his locker following the Super Bowl at the NovaCare complex, as he was packing things up, unfortunately, after that defeat, that he wants to go somewhere where he can win. He wants to go somewhere also where he can get paid and maybe land a long-term contract. And because he's going to be the most sought-after cornerback in this free agency class, he will have an opportunity to cash in. There are other solid cornerbacks on this list. Jamel Dean, I like him for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Patrick Peterson is way too old in my opinion. Cameron Sutton of the Steelers. Byron Murphy of the Cardinals. Solid players. I'm more so looking at some of the value plays on this list, like Rock Ya-Sin, Temple legend. Sean Murphy Bunting of the Buccaneers. And Emmanuel Mosley, who was playing great football for the 49ers prior to him tearing his ACL. Marcus Peters is a little bit old, but because he's been injured the last couple of years, can you get him on a value deal? And then Jonathan Jones rounds out that list as well. But a big reason Bradberry is going to get paid, he was an All-Pro this year, and he played really, really well after getting released by the Giants, and what a bargain deal it was for Howie Roseman to bring him in 1 year, $10 million, because that was below market value for an All-Pro caliber cornerback. Ended the regular season with 3 picks, 17 pass breakups, a Pro Football Focus grade of 80.2, and an overall grade of 74.2. Of course, a lot of people are going to remember him for that hold on Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't want to talk about it because I feel as though I was kicked in the nuts. Now, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we have you covered every single day, all year round, but every single day throughout this Eagles offseason. So if you want the latest intel on who the Eagles might sign, who they might trade for, who they might trade, who they might draft, and then during the season, all the latest news tidbits, subscribe to the channel. Go Birds. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now. To defensive tackle now, James Bradberry leads the list of the best available cornerbacks. Goes to show you how good this Eagles roster is and was in 2022 because Javon Hargrave leads the list of the top free agent defensive tackles. And really, I think it's a 2-horse class here. It's Hargrave, it's Daron Payne. Other than that, it's a steep drop-off to the final 3 players on this list in Dalvin Tomlinson, Zach Allen, and Draymond Jones. Dalvin Tomlinson, more of a nose tackle who stops the run, but Payne and Javon Hargrave both registered double-digit sacks this year. For Payne, he had 11.5. Hargrave, a career-high 11 sacks. And you look at the figures that he was able to put up here in 2022. He was the ultimate disruptor at defensive tackle and right up there with Chris Jones as one of the best DTs in the game this year. And yet again, another good deal for Howie Roseman for what he's been able to bring this football team over the last couple of years. 11 sacks, 57 pressures, 40 hurries, 10 tackles for loss. I wish the grass wasn't such a joke in Glendale, Arizona, because I do believe if they were playing on a regular surface, maybe Hargrave, Hassan Reddick, and the crew could have gotten some sacks on Patrick Mahomes. And because that grass completely neutralized the Eagles' pass rush, I am not making excuses for why they lost that game, but it did play a part in the fact that they had goose eggs for sacks. I want you to type FTG for F the grass in Arizona, and what do you know? The head groundskeeper, a longtime Chiefs fan. Top free agent defensive ends here. Yet again, this list led by another Philadelphia Eagle in Brandon Graham, who in his age 34 season, coming off a torn Achilles, had a career-high 11 sacks. Yannick Ngakoue is a Philly guy. The Eagles have wanted him for the last couple of years in terms of the fan base. Could he finally sign with Philadelphia to add some depth to that position if you let go of some other players on this Eagles defense? Jadeveon Clowney, I think, is better suited as a 3-4 end, but he's, of course, an intriguing name. So too is Marcus Davenport, who 2 years ago had nearly double-digit sacks before he kind of struggled this year. Arden Key of the Jacksonville Jaguars was great for the 49ers 2 years ago. He's more so a player who's really good with a good rest of the defensive line. Charles Omenihu was maximized by the Niners the last 2 years. Justin Houston is old, but still the sack production is there. And Samson Ebukam kind of lacks the ideal size coming off that edge spot, but is a speed rusher, kind of like Hassan Reddick, but obviously not that caliber of a player. And for Brandon Graham, it just isn't right and wouldn't feel right to see BG, an all-time Eagles legend, and a guy who has the most noteworthy and important play in the history of this franchise with the strip sack on Tom Brady in Super Bowl 52 to go elsewhere. I've continued to say this, and I'm going to double down on it. Seeing Brandon Graham in a different jersey would be like seeing Brian Dawkins in that Broncos blue and orange. It just wouldn't taste right. This is a guy who, like Dawkins, when he went to the Broncos back in 2010, can still play. He's still productive. Most importantly, though, critical person in this locker room for that Eagles culture, and what a year he had with 11 sacks, 48 pressures, 32 hurries, and 16 quarterback hits. A lot more players to look at, as well as those position groups to canvas. But first, today's Philadelphia Eagles Now is sponsored by Athletic Greens, a supplement that I take every single day, and that's why I'm closing in on 300 straight days of running. Yeah, you heard that right. Sometimes you got to be built different. I'm built different thanks to AG1, which I gave it a try because given my work schedule at Chat Sports, combined with my training regimen as I'm on that running mission, I just wanted sustained energy. I wanted to boost my immune system. I wanted clean ingredients running through my veins. And I take AG1 every morning as part of my routine. And it sets the foundation for the rest of my day. It's helped improve my gut health. It's boosted my energy. It supports my immune system, helps me recover. Since I'm putting such a toll on my body, I've also really prioritized my health since my mom passed away from cancer a couple of years ago. And because of that, I try to steer clear of harsh chemicals and ingredients, which is why I love AG1 and its 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water. I drink it first thing each morning or before and after my workouts, and I love that something that's this good for you costs less than $3 a day. So if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, AG1 has a great deal for the Bird Gang. A free 1-year supply of vitamin D. Yes, that's right, free. And 5 free travel packs, which is what I was using all throughout the week from Super Bowl Radio Row with your first purchase. Head to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. To the safety spot now. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, right up there as one of the top 5 available safeties who's set to hit the market in free agency. I actually think that he's more valuable in my eyes in this defense, this particular defense, than a guy like Jesse Bates or Jordan Poyer because of the familiarity with the scheme, but also the versatility that he has, being able to play slot nickel corner and then play back deep at that safety spot. But this is a good safety class, and because of that, could the Eagles maybe bring back C.D. Deuce at a pretty affordable price, considering that other teams might prioritize a Poyer or a Jesse Bates over C.J. Gardner-Johnson? I asked C.D. Deuce if he wanted to come back to Philadelphia from Super Bowl Radio Row last week. He said, who wouldn't? I love it here. It's a great place to be. And according to reports, he is an offseason priority for Howie Roseman. I think another offseason priority should be TJ Edwards, who, according to Pro Football Focus, was the second highest graded linebacker in the NFL this year. Levante David, very good linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but TJ Edwards is right up there. This is also a pretty solid linebacker class. Tremaine Edwards is a good player. Jermaine Pratt for the Cincinnati Bengals, solid. Anthony Walker, I like him on this list, but he's been injured the last 2 years. Kaiser White on another bargain deal would be great. Former Eagles legend Alex Singleton was really good for the Denver Broncos this past year. Leighton Vander Esch might be intriguing to some, but I'm staying away because of those neck injuries and because every single day it's F the Cowboys. I would like to see TJ Edwards back. He's a homegrown product who has developed within this organization a very good story. As far as he's been able to grow, it's been impressive that the coaching staff has been able to maximize his talent. So I'd like to see him back. Kaiser White could be a good value play, but Howie Roseman said today that part of the draft is about planning for the future. So that's what you have to think about at defensive tackle, with Fletcher Cox going to be a free agent, as well as Javon Hargrave. And they drafted Jordan Davis in the first round, knowing that both of them are going to be free agents this offseason. And then a guy like Nakobe Dean, a great steal. Getting him where you got him in the 2022 NFL Draft. Do the Eagles have plans for him? He's going to need to bulk up a little bit, but his instinctual style is great. And my goodness, he can really, at Georgia at least, sniff out what happens with that opposing offense. So we're going through a lot of the top free agents here. What is the biggest offseason need for the Eagles? They don't have many, but what's the biggest one? Let us know. Top free agency running backs. I've said here on the show, I don't want to pay big-time money to running backs. Miles Sanders enters free agency at a pretty critical moment. Why is that? Because there are other good backs on this list who could get paid a lot more than Miles Sanders, thus driving down his price tag. Saquon Barkley had a really good year this year. Josh Jacobs led the NFL in rushing yards. Miles Sanders was top 5 in rushing yards this season as he eclipsed 1,000 yards for the first time. But other teams might like a David Montgomery more and maybe even Tony Pollard. I think it's a class of 5 backs in this class. Saquon, Jacobs, Sanders, Montgomery, and Pollard. And then you look at the guys on the right side of the screen. If you want to bring in a back for cheap, you might be able to do it with some of these players here. And Alexander Mattison of the Vikings, a Devin Singletary of the Bills, who I think could be good behind this offensive line. I know Eagles fans really high on Kareem Hunt, dual threat back, who I think is better suited more so as a backup. Damian Harris, a good and still young player. And then Rashad Penny as well. As for the Eagles running back production, here's where the Eagles run into a little bit of an interesting scenario here. You have the best offensive line in football, even if Jason Kelce decides to retire. This is an Eagles scheme offensively that lends itself to picking up massive chunks of yardage on the ground. Yes, they disappointed in the Super Bowl against a pretty solid Kansas City Chiefs front, but it's going to be a backbone of this Eagles offense here in 2023, and I'd actually like to see them run the football more with their running backs and run it less with Jalen Hurts. Sanders was great this year. And he finally proved that when he stays healthy, he can be that consistent back. But again, $8 to $10 million at that running back spot when you still have Kenneth Gainwell on his rookie deal and you could bring back Boston Scott for cheap in free agency, it makes paying him maybe a tough pill to swallow. So who will be, when you look ahead, running back 1 in 2023? Will it be Kenneth Gainwell, type KG? Will it be Miles Sanders, type MS? Once again, we want to hear from you. Top free agent wide receivers here as we're starting to round out this show. Quez Watkins admitted after the season that he disappointed himself and didn't make that necessary leap that he wanted to take. He also admitted that his technique was bad. He was running the last couple of yards on that deep ball that could have put the Eagles up a couple of scores with his hands up in the air. And what does that do? It tells the DB that the ball is coming. The DB was able to swipe at his shoulder, and he dropped that football, and he leaped for it. I would like to see the Eagles bring in a better wide receiver 3 here. because I just think that it would maximize this offense. They might be a little bit better than Quez Watkins, and it also elevates A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And who are you going to stop if you bring in a better option at wide receiver 3 when you have always open A.J. and Smitty at those top 2 wide receiver spots? This wide receiver class, interesting for a couple of reasons. You have some good veterans, and you have some intriguing young players, but you also have some players who are eager to bounce back, who you can get on a contract that is very, very team-friendly, like a Jarvis Landry, who's on this list. Now, I'd be interested in Odell Beckham Jr. Wide receiver 3 with Smitty and A.J. Brown, I'm intrigued. F. Juju Smith-Schuster, I want no parts of him. He's an absolute fraud. Jacoby Myers, that's what I have to say about him. Michael Thomas, way too injury prone. Obviously, he's still on that Saints roster, but expected to be cut so that he would become a free agent. DJ Chark with the Jaguars was good, with the Lions was good. I think that you can get him on a good value play. McCole Hardman can kind of give you what Quez Watkins gives you, a guy who can get vertical, but also be used a little bit more as a Swiss Army knife. Allen Lazard, a big-bodied wide receiver. I think you already have that in A.J. Brown, plus you have Dallas Goedert, who can also play that role downfield of those 50-50 balls. Paris Campbell, Julio Jones, way too old, washed, and injury-prone. You look at this Eagles wide receiver production. That's why it's pretty intriguing to bring in a better wide receiver 3 here, because you put a solid player next to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, who had record-setting campaigns, and this Eagles offense might be difficult to stop once again if Jalen Hurts can once again take another step as a passer. Let's round out with this. Gardner Minshew going to be a free agent. Could demand top dollar as far as backup quarterbacks go in free agency, and simply we see him play 2 years in a couple of spot starts. I don't think that he's good enough to run this current system. And the Eagles would have to drastically change the system for him to play and have success. A guy who I'd like to bring in, who has familiarity with Nick Sirianni going back to their Colts days, Jacoby Brissett. Sam Darnold is intriguing because he's a good athlete. He can run a little RPO. Baker Mayfield ran RPO and read option concepts at Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley. He's looking to redeem himself. Andy Dalton on this list just because he's a veteran, but my goodness, for a long while it's become clear that he is not all that good. Do you have trust in Howie Roseman? If so, type Howie down below so that he can work his magic. I understand the Eagles have 11 combined starters offensively and defensively who are going to be free agents. Jalen Hurts' contract extension looming. That could be expensive, but if we have trust in anybody to get it right, especially when it comes down to the dollars, it's Howie Roseman. All right, let's see what the people are saying. Comment section seems to be popping off a little bit. John O'Malley, you're funny. Xander Rowe, Cool Rains, Blessing, Philly Big Dog, Lucas, Vernon, Izzy B, going for Cam Newton. No, thank you. We got some beef going on in the chat between Your Funny V and John O'Malley. We also have a couple of super chats that we need to catch up on here. Super chats coming in. Philly Big Dog 68. That's the first one that came in, so we have to give an L3 to Philly Big Dog here. $5 super chat. Who do you think the defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator is going to be? I think it's going to be Brian Johnson as offensive coordinator. He's going to get elevated from quarterbacks coach. Defensive coordinator, I'm really torn on who it's going to be. Denard Wilson is loved by some of the players on this Eagles defense, but he's somewhat inexperienced and a little bit young, and I wouldn't hate seeing the Eagles bring in a veteran defensive coordinator. Now, a lot of people have mentioned Lovie Smith. I think he's a little bit too old, but Denard Wilson is a name to keep an eye out for. Sean Desai has some Temple ties and Philadelphia ties. He could be a name. Chris Richard as well. It could be an internal hire, which we talked about a little bit earlier as well. Yeah, just go Philly Big Dog 68 Super Chat MVP for getting the Super Chat started. We appreciate you, Philly Big Dog. Trace is getting that graphic ready right now. More Super Chats coming. Mr. Psycho, bounce back is going to be great for us Eagles. And I agree. I think they can bounce back. I mean, so many things have to go your way to make it to the Super Bowl. And then you play so deep into the season that it's difficult to make it back. There have been 57 Super Bowls. Only 7 or 8 teams have actually made it back to the Super Bowl the following year after losing. So the odds are certainly stacked up against Philadelphia, but look, they're still going to have a really good team, and I hope that bounce back results in a Super Bowl 58 championship. Philly Irish Drew Evo, what's good, brother? Sign Hurts to a 10-year, $400 million contract, $150 million guaranteed, or 3 years of $150 fully guaranteed to save on the cap hit. I do believe that Jalen Hurts deserves a contract extension. I also think that it's not as bad as what people are making it out to be. I think with Howie Roseman doing the deal, that's a plus. Jalen Hurts has said, all I care about is winning. So is he willing to take a little bit less so that the roster can be better around him, unlike Dak Prescott, as that roster got gutted once he got that big contract? Also, he's entering still the final year of his rookie deal. So you have this year where he's playing for cheap, and then if you backload that contract a little bit and put some of the big dollars at the end, not only is the salary cap at that point going to go up, it still allows you over the next couple of years to build and fortify the roster around Jalen Hurts, to maybe have it as deep or somewhat as deep as what this team was this year. Peter Thurman with the 5. Would you trade down with someone to get more picks and another first next year? The Eagles next year in 2024 are loaded with draft capital. You have 2 first-round picks already, so I don't think it makes a lot of sense, honestly, to move back if you already have 2 first-rounders. Now, you have 2 in the first round, then you don't pick again until the 3rd round, right? So I see where your thinking comes from, but with 2 first-rounders, I'm staying at 10, I'm staying at 30, and I'm probably trying to get those picks right there. Philly Big Dog 68 with another one. What do you think the Eagles season is going to be? Better or worse next year after we get a new defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator? There's no doubt that replacing a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator is a very tall test. It just is. Because the schematics of the scheme don't change and get overhauled all that much. But they're different play callers. And those different play callers have different tendencies. And they go about their jobs and their approaches a little bit differently as compared to the previous guy because they're different coordinators, right? So I think it is difficult to replace both an OC and a DC. I don't think that the Eagles are going to go 16-3 once again prior to the Super Bowl and end with a 16-4 record, 14-3 in the regular season, because their schedule is going to be a little bit more difficult, and they had some great injury fortune go their way, and it's hard to duplicate that. I mean, all 22 starters played for this football team in Super Bowl 57. That's why this loss also hurt so much, is because this team was so talented and so healthy, and you can't really bank on that luck really being run back. Philly Big Dog, you see the graphic down here. We appreciate you. Philly Irish with the 2. Trade a pick or 2 and get Jalen Ramsey. I talked about that a couple of years ago. He sucked in 2022. Really wasn't all that good for the money that he's making. You can go back and watch my breakdown of Jalen Ramsey and some of the thoughts there. He wasn't good in 2022, but with a player like that, can they be rejuvenated? Can they get this new lease on life a little bit by a change of scenery, especially playing in Philadelphia where he knows the fans would get on his ass if he doesn't play all that well? Maybe. We have a couple of wheel spins that we have to do, right? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 wheel spins. 4 wheel spins. Let's do it. 4 wheel spins, then we'll get to our last segment here on Eagles Now. We have some good stuff on our wheel here. So let's spin the wheel first.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
This is a good wheel. We put a lot of work in on this one.
Okay. No one likes us
Discounted song.
No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're from Philly, fucking Philly. No one likes us. We don't care. No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're the Eagles, the fucking Eagles. No one likes us. We don't care. One more wheel spin, and then we'll do 3 more because another $5 super chat came in after our last segment. I just want to capitalize on our audience spiking here a little bit.
No way.
Borat voices.
Very nice.
For everybody who tuned in all year, very nice.
The Eagles had the great success of the year.
Great
Chiefs are
success.
losers. Juju Smith-Schuster is a cheater.
Juju Smith-Schuster, absolute fraud.
Take a Fortnite dance, Juju. You loser.
What's up, Chugs?
How would you like to smack Sperry?
Yes.
I wouldn't mind smacking.
Bring him in
Sperry.
here.
Maybe some
So,
50 piece for a smack?
Yeah, so producer Jeremy, Eagles fan by the way, who you saw in our watch party on Sunday, he
Big
went
Eagles
ballistic after the Eagles lost because of that awful officiating call. He just came in, he just produced Steelers for Sperry. He said a $50 super chat, and we will smack the Steeler host Sperry.
The biggest lover of the James Bradbury call.
Oh, and
my
he
God.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about this.
He loved the James Bradbury call.
He thought it was a
He
good
said
call.
it needed to be called there, so I want to slap him so bad.
I totally forgot he said
What a
that,
stuff.
dude. He literally was trying to make an argument that regardless of a situation or regardless of who the player is, you should always call that kind of penalty. And it's just like, that's not how you end a fucking game.
I was
Like,
so
I don't know how to
salty,
make it
man.
clear.
I was so salty.
He actually just was looking at his tweet again about how he.
Hold on, wait.
If you wanna look at his
Wait.
Twitter-
Say that again. I could build a tweet graphic. I could build a tweet
Yeah.
graphic.
If you want to build a tweet graphic, he has about 9 tweets saying how much he agrees and loves the James Bradbury call. Not shitting
What a
ya.
fraud. Yeah, you can if you want.
How's it going in here?
It's good. Yeah,
How's the fans?
we're pushing through. We're keeping positive. Super Bowl 58 champs.
Whose mental health is better, yours or Jeremy's right now?
Yes. Yes is the answer to that. Peter Thurman, exactly. He wasn't going to catch it. They got bailed out. Also, illegal hands to the face on Josh Sweat on that play. Just saying.
You just gotta go
Just
down.
saying.
You want the Cowboys fan opinion on the flag?
Yeah.
You want my opinion?
Here's a Cowboys fan.
Cowboys fan here? Horrible call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Not in that spot. Not in that spot.
Did not impact the catch. It was very brief. Garbage would end a call. Just like last year's Cooper Cup flag PI BS.
Exactly.
It's like ending Game 7 of an NBA Finals with a carry call.
Yeah, or it's like Game 7 of a World Series. The umpire has been calling the strike zone the same way all game. And then the last batter with men on second and third to take the lead and win the World Series, he calls a pitch that hadn't been called all throughout the game. You just don't do it. You just don't.
I mean, he has about 9 of them that you could put on there. To
Yeah.
be honest. If you just want to put it in the chat, that might be easier
I'm
too.
so salty.
Hey, I'm going to drop the thread in the chat. I'm going to drop the tweet thread in the
Yeah.
chat. Go blow him up.
Sperry said every 50, Chase can smack it.
Yeah. Smack
Smack the fraud.
James Bradbury holding call loving
Advocate.
Sperry.
Smack the PI advocate.
Gosh. All right. We're going to talk some Eagles draft here. Appreciate all of you for watching. Can we get to 150 likes before this next segment? We're at 134 right now. Can we get to 150? I'm going to give y'all a minute. 220 people watching live. Can we get to 150 likes before the next segment? I'm giving you 1 minute. Then we're going to talk about some Eagles draft prospects here as we continue to give you the best offseason coverage on the Birds. We're up to 140 likes right now. 10 more. 10 more to 150. Now we're 7 away. We're 20 seconds in. Now we're at 148. Can we get to 150? Can we get to 150? Let's get there. Let's go. E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles! All right, coming up. Going to answer your super chats, including Maggie Mayflies. We have 4 wheel spins to get to after this upcoming segment, and we're going to answer some of your questions here as well, because I see John O'Malley's in the chat. He's like, Chase, you didn't do my chats. We're going to answer some of your questions coming up here momentarily. So this will be our final segment, and then we're down to hang out for a little while if you want us to, for a little Eagles Now interaction, Eagles Now happy hour, as we like to call it. So we're talking draft prospects right now, according to Todd McShay's mock, and we're also going to answer your questions as well. So let's hop into it. Philadelphia Eagles now is presented by Manscaped. Not only are they giving you the best men's grooming products, they're also in the beard game right now. We'll tell you more about that coming up later on today's show. But either way, whether you want to treat yourself below the belt or on your face, 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/chat with the promo code chat. So we begin with this. We're going to look ahead to April's 2023 NFL Draft, and really, we're going to continue to do this all throughout the offseason as the offseason officially underway for the Birds following that gut-wrenching Super Bowl defeat. And on today's show, going to look at some players that draft expert for ESPN, Todd McShay, pitted to the Birds with pick number 10 and pick number 30 in this upcoming NFL Draft. And a player who we talked a little bit about here over the last couple of months is Bryan Bresee, the defensive tackle out of Clemson. He continues to be a popular pick to Philadelphia for a couple of reasons. He's an intriguing athlete, but also you look at how this Eagles roster is currently constructed right now. Javon Hargrave going to be a free agent. Fletcher Cox, a free agent. You drafted Jordan Davis. Is he going to help replace those aforementioned two defensive tackles? And then if you let both of them go, do you bring in another young player in Bryan Bresee to have your new age of defensive tackles on this team in both him to my right to go along with Jordan Davis and maybe a Milton Williams as well? Now, Bresee as an athlete, really intriguing, but I kind of don't want the Eagles to draft him, and I don't like this pick from Todd McShay. Couple of injury issues throughout his NFL career that we'll get to here in a second. 3.5 sacks in 2022 as he was hampered a little bit by a shoulder injury. 6 tackles for loss, 2 pass breakups, and 15 tackles. Going back to the athletic part of him, he's explosive. At 6'5", 300 pounds, he can really get off the ball very quickly. What I don't like about that, though, he doesn't really have an array of pass rush moves. He relies on power to win, and you can't always do that at the NFL level. He can play in any alignment, so he does have some versatility from 5-tech to 3-tech, so I do like that. Occupies double teams well from time to time, but he can still get a little bit stronger. But the injury issues here, something that I'm concerned about. Tore his ACL in 2021, injured his shoulder in 2022. That's why there was that lack of production. As for what McShay had to say about this draft pick for the Birds, the loaded Eagles went to the Super Bowl for good reason. General Manager Howie Roseman's focus on building out from the trenches proved to be valuable. But now, they could lose 3 of their top 4 defensive linemen in terms of snap counts to free agency, including Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox up the middle. Brandon Graham, by the way, the other one. Roseman drafted Jordan Davis in round 1 last April, and bringing in Bresee to pair him with Jordan Davis could shore up an important unit for the team. Bresee has fantastic upper body strength to slow down opponent run games and work through blockers as an interior pass rusher. So that is really the insight on Bryan Bresee. And I just think that the Eagles might go corner at number 10. They might go edge rusher. Shoot, you can never count out this team going with an offensive tackle as well. So those are some of my thoughts. What are your thoughts? You tell me down below in the comment section. What position should the Eagles target with the 10th overall pick? Let us know down below. At pick number 30, Todd McShay has the Eagles going after an offensive tackle, and Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. This guy has a plethora of experience over the last couple of years, and within that experience, he's played pretty well. Scouting insight from McShay. Now, Philadelphia pivots to the other side of the ball, but they do stay in the trenches. Eagles have Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata under contract for 3 more years, but Harrison could provide depth and perhaps help out the interior, where the team might lose a couple of starters this offseason, like Isaac Seumalo on the interior. He walls off defenders and has allowed just 2 sacks over 3 seasons, and perhaps more importantly for Philly's offense, he has blown just 7 run blocks over that time. Really good size as well for Anton Harrison, but you think about this Eagles offensive line, and you talk about Lane Johnson. I did ask his good buddy Jay Glazer last week from the Super Bowl if Lane is going to retire. He said, I don't see Lane retiring, man. Lane is now being regarded as the best tackle in the league, and I think he's going to thrive there for a while. Now you have Lane Johnson under contract, as McShay had said. You have Jordan Mailata under contract, and both of them are being paid handsomely. Isaac Seumalo might be too expensive to keep. So do you draft a guy like Harrison, who could shift inside to guard, and then in the future, he could be your tackle. That's an option. Is Cam Jurgens going to take over for Jason Kelsey? That's a possibility. At left guard, Landon Dickerson, he's entering year 3, 2 more years left on his rookie deal. Scouting Harrison here, 6'5", 315. So he could play guard, he could play tackle. 1 sack allowed in 2022 in 447 pass blocking snaps. 0 quarterback hits allowed in 2022 as well. He has tight end-like feet, so coming out of his stance, Jeff Stoutland would have a lot of fun in trying to coach him up, and he has to improve his play strength. That is a little bit of a weakness. Sometimes he relies on those quick feet and that athleticism. Subscribe if you want more draft talk, and if you want more draft coverage, let us know down in the comment section by typing draft, because we could certainly do more of this. Look, the Eagles were on a furious winning streak and had a great season in terms of wins and losses, obviously making it to the Super Bowl, but that didn't stop us from doing draft coverage. So if you want more, just let us know. Fly, Eagles, fly. For the Eagles draft picks, they have 6 as of right now, including those 2 first-rounders, 10th overall from the Saints, and then 30th overall, which we talked about a little bit earlier. That second-round pick at 62nd overall. So to Peter Thurman, I had said they had that pick in the 3rd round. They had that second-rounder as well. 3rd rounder, 94th overall, and then 2 7th-rounders. So it's that gap between the 3rd round to the 7th round, which is what I was alluding to. We'll start taking your questions next, but first, breaking news here on Philadelphia Eagles now. Manscaped is now selling beard products. That's right. They've gone from waist to face to help you replace that bulky razor with their brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Manscaped helped you get the golden rod of a Greek god, and now they've created the best tools for you to turn heads with the clean, perfectly groomed, and conditioned beard, just like Trizzy has. Finally, tame your mane by heading to manscaped.com and using our code CHAT for 20% off and free shipping. This kit is about to change your life. I'm not shitting you. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit has made it easier than ever to craft your signature look. This kit will take your facial hair anywhere, from Gandalf to totally bare. It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut of fixing faces. First off, this waterproof cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 haircutting lengths all within one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. Yeah, you heard that. No more drawers full of 20 different guards. So get 20% off and free shipping by heading to manscaped.com/chat with the promo code chat. Manscaped.com/chat. Look fresh on your face and, of course, below the belt for your significant other today. We have some questions and super chats that we want to field and answer on the show today. Mr. Rudy Poo, $5. I want Devon Witherspoon. He's the cornerback, by the way, out of Illinois, getting a lot of Darius Slay comps. But how we would draft somebody like Kalijah Cansey, undersized Pitt defensive tackle, Aaron Donald clone, too much for Howie. We've seen Howie overdraft. Hello, Jalen Reagor. But I think he's going to get this one right. And if he goes and overthinks this one, that's not good. Look, Devon Witherspoon's a good player. If you want to let James Bradberry go and then pay a fraction of the price to a rookie cornerback who can start right away, Witherspoon could be that guy. I like Joey Porter a lot. Some mock drafts, I think this is crazy. They have him going in the late teens or the 20s. He's too good for that. I love his length. As for defensive tackle, they might go defensive tackle there, but they went Jordan Davis first round. I'd go edge rusher. I'd go cornerback as the top 2 positions I might target at number 10. Philly Irish Drew, what's good, Drew? Trade a pick or 2 and get Jalen Ramsey. So we've talked about Jalen Ramsey here. Here's the thought process, though, that I have. If James Bradberry is too expensive to keep and you want to let him go to save some money, it makes no sense to actually trade for Jalen Ramsey unless you think that what he gives this defense is far superior to James Bradberry. But really, Jalen Ramsey didn't have a good 2022. Now, could he go somewhere else and be rejuvenated to a certain degree and maybe play some better football? Yeah, potentially. But is there a massive, massive drop-off between Jalen Ramsey and James Bradberry if you can save some money by bringing in Bradberry instead of Jalen Ramsey and keep the draft capital? Something, of course, to think about. John O'Malley, what's good, John? Do you think we're going to draft Will Anderson or Keely Ringo with the 10th pick? Some of the draft guides that I've looked at, they don't even have Keely Ringo as a top 5 corner in this draft. I don't understand it. I think that he should be in play. I think that after the NFL scouting combine, you're going to see some of these players, depending on how they test athletically, really skyrocket up some of these boards. I would love Will Anderson. Him and Hassan Reddick as those stand-up edge rushers, yes, please. In that case, you probably let TJ Edwards and Kaiser White go, and then you roll with Will Anderson and Nakobe Dean, 2 cheap rookies, affordable on those rookie contracts. I don't think he's going to be available, unfortunately, at number 10. Cool Reigns. If we don't use Quez Watkins as a third wide receiver, should we go after Mecole Hardman since he is like a Quez Watkins? Yeah, I said that during our live show. There are similarities in terms of their usage, but Mecole Hardman is better than Quez Watkins. He gives you what Quez ideally would give you, vertical speed, gadget weapon, but Quez doesn't really have good ball tracking ability. He admitted that he took a step back here in 2022. How does that happen when you're playing alongside Quez Watkins or when you're playing alongside A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith if you are Quez Watkins? I thought that in the Chicago game, on the Dallas game, on the road, they tried to involve him way too much, and because of that, the offense just wasn't as good. Hardman is certainly an intriguing player that I'm looking at in free agency. Nick Stone. Do you think Nakobe Dean will get more playing time next season? It all comes down to what they do with Kaiser White and what they do with TJ Edwards. I think White could come back on a very affordable contract, and if that's the case, I thought he played good ball this year. TJ Edwards, as I've often said, number 2 ranked linebacker in the entire NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. He might get the bag somewhere else, honestly. But if he doesn't, a great player development story who I'd like to see the Eagles bring back. If they don't, though, or if they let Kaiser White go, maybe Nakobe Dean could slide into that role. And Howie Roseman has said, and this is really the draft philosophy for all teams, drafting is about looking into the future. So did they look at the signing of Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, and they wanted to draft Nakobe Dean not just because of extraordinary value, but also they realized, okay, let's groom him as a rookie, and then in year 2, he'll be ready to take the reins. John O'Malley again, Yo Chase, who do you think would be a better defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph or Lovie Smith? Both veterans, both solid defensive minds. Lovie Smith is a head coach with the Texans and at the University of Illinois. Not all that good. I did like, and I have to admit this, I did like how Lovie Smith's defense played in terms of effort with Houston. I think he's more so entering that territory of like senior defensive assistant or analyst. I might go Vance Joseph over Lovie, but honestly, it's not by much. Denard Wilson, a name to keep an eye out for. He's the current defensive backs coach for Philadelphia. Last one coming in from the homie, the MVP, the real one, the legend, the OG, Elijah Stovall. Elijah. Even with all of the Howie magic in the world, what free agents are you okay with not re-signing? It's a good question. Probably Fletcher Cox. It'd be hard. He's an Eagles legend. But if you could decide between paying Javon Hargrave and another player, I'd just let Fletcher Cox go. Outside of that, what's another good one here? James Bradberry. You draft a corner at number 10. You bring in an Emmanuel Mosley in free agency or a Rocky Sin, who both of them could be affordable, and then you let Bradberry go for big-time dollars, and then you draft a cornerback at 10 or a cornerback at 30. A couple of guys right there that come to mind. Speaking of Howie Roseman, Elijah teed it up. Type Howie so that he can work his magic. All right. Couple of super chats to get to. We had another 5 come in, so I think we have like 4 or 5 wheel spins. So from here on out, we're having fun. We're hanging out. $50, we can slap the Steelers host who loved the James Bradberry call. Nothing more than I want to do than to take out my anger on him, as I was hot and heated the last couple of days after the Eagles' loss. Super chat menu, here it is. $5, we'll spin the wheel. $10, we'll do some jumping jacks. $20, 20 push-ups. $50, no one likes us. All right, first of 4 wheel spins. Here we go. See where we land here. Oh! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, there's
Let's go.
10 jumping jacks. 3 more wheel spins to get to.
Spin that wheel. Let's go.
Spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
I see A-Trap says South Carolina cornerbacks are nice. Remember J.C. Horn and Stephon Gilmore?
Yes.
If they have anybody.
And Cam Smith out of South Carolina. Very good player, too. 2 more wheel spins unless we continue to get some $5 super chats. Oh!
All
Trey
right.
shot.
All right. I got a drink poured up. So, there you
Izzy
go.
B said, Chase,
There you go.
keeping that liquor cold in that little Yeti. Chase, were you
Always.
eating crow? Is that what got you heated? I was heated because the Eagles lost the Super Bowl. All right, another wheel spin here. Damn, I can smell that from over here. Freestyle rap. Oh, man.
Let's go. All right, Chase. Come on.
So all week I've been heated, not because I was eating the crow. The Eagles losing the Super Bowl, it was a big blow. I felt as though in that Super Bowl 57 defeat, I got kicked in the nuts. And once the Eagles lost, I said, fuck. There's our freestyle rap. Oh, another one from Lion Fighter. Hey, family, crawled out of my rock. I'm so bummed. Miss you guys. We miss you too, LFX. And we're going to spin the wheel once again.
LFX. This is therapy. This is just group therapy at this point. You know, it's fine.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
Karaoke.
Eagles now karaoke.
Karaoke. We
All
have
right.
to pick a song.
Pick a song that we should sing for karaoke here. Drop it into the comment section, and we'll do some singing here.
We can make it happen.
Best one, we'll sing it. Drop a song into the comment section.
Let us know.
Let us know.
Also, just a friendly reminder, $50 super chat. We smack Steelers host Jack Sperry in
Andrew
the face.
B, Dreams and Nightmares.
Could do that.
I like that. New
Could
kid
do
in
I Just
town.
Wanna Rock.
See, the Eagles should have run it back with Dreams and Nightmares coming out of the tunnel. They just should have.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, man.
Just want to rock from Cool Rains. Give it to him real quick, Trace.
I just wanna rock. Body yada ya. I try to get the body yada ya. Try to get the body yada ya.
There you go. Eagles now karaoke. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Milkshake. John O'Malley, you probably want Izzy to sing that, right? Because y'all were trying to connect in the chat. My milkshake brings all the
boys
to the yard.
And they're like, I'm not finishing it. I'm not finishing it. I'm not going to finish it. Flippy Ducky's back.
Flippy Ducky is back. What's up, Flippy Ducky? All right, here's our super chat menu. We're at $38. If we get to 100, I'll shotgun a beer. How about that?
$50.
I could use some carbs before I work out.
We smack them.
$100 in total. $100 in total. I'll shotgun a beer. We're at 38 now. There we go. And here's our super chat menu. 5, we'll spin the wheel again. 10, 10 jumping jacks. 20, 20 push-ups. $50, no one likes us. A-Trap, my dream draft would be Cam Smith at 10th. Bijan Robinson at 30. Best available defensive tackle in the second. Best available edge after that. I like that philosophy, actually. I do think they can make it back, Flippy, but it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard.
Guys, try to hang out. If you guys want us to kick it and hang out, send some super chats. Otherwise, we got other work to do. Otherwise, we got other things to do.
All right, here we go. 2 minutes on the clock.
2 minutes remaining.
If we get a super chat, we'll stay live within these 2 minutes. If not, we're signing off and kissing this edition of Eagles Now Live goodbye. Cool Rains, where exactly are you from again, Cool Rains? It's New Zealand, right? Waffle Crusher, appreciate what you do, fam. Salute to you. I appreciate you. Australia, Cool Rains. Okay, I knew it was I knew it was that or New Zealand. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, 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 oi. Peter Thurmond. Yeah. There it is. Spin that wheel. John O'Malley, Bijan, or Keely Ringo. I like it. I like them both, John. Big John in the house. All right, Peter Thurmond, keep the party going. We'll spin the wheel for that. And Izzy with this one. I'm going to a small super chat. I have to save for my friend's daughters who passed away from brain cancer. Also, Milkshake brings the guys. Our thoughts and prayers are to your friend's daughter who passed away from brain cancer. My mom passed away from cancer, Izzy, so cancer is certainly close to my heart, and cancer awareness means a lot to me. So thoughts and prayers out to your friend's daughter. Sorry to hear about that. All right, super chats are starting to come in. Owling with the 20. Thanks for the great coverage this season. Owling tuned in from Alaska. That's where it looks as though he was doing some fishing. So we'll do 20 push-ups. Elijah with the 15. If the active roster rule goes from 46 to 47, what position / specialist would you add for game day? For a critical game, I'd go emergency quarterback. The Niners wish they could have done that after Purdy and Josh Johnson got knocked out. Outside of that, it kind of depends on like what you have for that roster day. Sometimes you don't carry another running back. Sometimes you don't carry an extra wide receiver depending on if your plan is to run it or throw it. So it comes down to that. Another defensive lineman, of course, is key as well. Steve Stretch, 5. Okay, I'll help. Haha. Love my birds. Can't wait for the draft now. Like your show, by the way. True Birds fan. Stretch, 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 stretch. I see Soda Can said, I lost my friend to cancer. Type F cancer in the chat. Type F cancer in the chat. F cancer. Let's do that. Let's get the movement going. Oh, Philly Big Dog with another 5. We're at 93. We're 7 away from a shotgun. And I'm going to make Trace do a Freedom Funnel or a beer bong. Either one. Trace will do that as well if we get to 100. Philly Big Dog with the super sticker. All right, so I have to do how many wheel spins? Peter Thurman wheel spin, Izzy wheel spin, Steve wheel spin, Philly Big Dog wheel spin. That's 4 wheel spins right there. So, Trace, you spin the wheel. I'm going to do my 20 push-ups here. I'll count them out on my mic. I'm not a fraud. I'll do them. And then Trace will spin that wheel. So here I get started with my push-ups. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, shout out
4,
J-Soft.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and a 20. Ugh. Oh, J-Soft getting us past 100. Let's go. All right, beer shotgun coming up. Waffle Crusher, is Lovey any good? As solely a defensive mind, I can't imagine he's bad. I'd just rather bring in somebody else. Sydney family. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. So my dad grew up in Melbourne. My family still lives there. And we love our Australian family. And to be able to interview Jordan Mailata last week was really cool. Izzy B, quit putting push-ups on there. Why?
You don't
We're
want
getting
us
in
to get
shape. J Soft OG. Got to be Lovey. The Texan defense challenged the Eagles, Dallas, and Chiefs. Bradbury is the keeper. Trade Slay. I think Slay's better. Slay had a good game against the Chiefs. Oftentimes when you don't hear a cornerback's name, that can be good. He had a lot to say on 3rd and 30, but not after blowing the coverage as a defensive captain. I don't know. Maybe you're warming me up to Lovie Smith. Like I said earlier, like his defense has fought hard. They played well. They really did. There was a rumor that the defensive coordinator for the Cards is a possibility. Vance Joseph. We talked about him on today's show. We did. Izzy B said, just because Lovey is older, go Lovey. I think a veteran DC would work out well here. I really do. And maybe wouldn't get worked like the young DC, Jonathan Gannon, did by the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, I'm going to send a message out. Somebody can bring us, 2 beers?
Yeah, I can go grab them.
You want to go get them?
Yeah, I'll just go grab them.
Can you spin the wheel once? Because we have, I think, 5 wheel spins to catch up on here. I did the 20 push-ups. Elijah, I'll do some jumping jacks. All right.
All wants the Trizzy jumping jacks back. Never.
Oh. All right, spin it one more time. And then go get those beers and then come back. I got to do 25 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Freestyle rap. Oh, no. Trace isn't here, so I'm going to have to do this one. My bars earlier were pretty solid. Let me think of this. Eagles may have lost the Super Bowl, but I still love the Birds. Watching them lose that game, I got stomped by the curb. Jalen Hurts was balling. He was shot calling. Super Bowl 58, the Eagles are not falling. They're going to win in Las Vegas, poker chips and all. I'm looking forward to seeing our Eagles ball. Yeah, it does. All right, Trace got me my beer. I don't have keys on me, though. Shoot. Yeah, mine are on my desk. So that's the freestyle rap. What do we have? 3 more wheel spins, I think. $5 will spin the wheel. Oh, Jay Soft with the 10. I got to do. Did I already do that? Yeah, Jay Soft. I just did the jumping jacks for you and Elijah. Trace is getting the keys so that we can shotgun this. Trace is going to do a beer bong.
It's like a bad bad.
Another super chat came in. Izzy B said, you're the better freestyler.
Oh, thanks, Izzle.
Spin that wheel again. I think we have like 3 or 4 more. I keep forgetting. Jahmyr Gibbs, yes, Connor. At number 30, I think that he's in play. In fact, I'd really like it. He's such a good receiving back. And the value of getting a back there at 30, I don't like to take backs in the first round. But the Eagles roster is so good that they can afford to do that.
Also, Jahmyr Gibbs is pretty much an Alvin Kamara 2.0. I mean, he's literally has the pass catching ability. He has the
that is a good pro comp.
Great in open space. He's literally Alvin Kamara 2.0.
Elijah, how much for a rap as Borat? How about 20?
$20.
$20.
$20, but you have to make the message Borat. That way we know it's for that.
Yes.
$20.
$20. No, we'll do it for 20 regardless. How about that? 20, we will freestyle in the Borat voice. I'll do it, and Trace will do it. All right. Here's another wheel spin. Abby beer cheers. You can go get Abby. Shotgun in the meantime. Oh, and it's so cold. Elijah with the 20. Yeah! All right, Trace. You got to do your do one more wheel spin, and then we'll do the Borat freestyle. Waffle Crusher, we appreciate you. You have to do a beer cheers.
Look at it. Look how perfect that is.
Borat voices. That's perfect. All right. Abby landed on the wheel. Beer cheers. Yeah. Not great. Let's see. Sydney family. Good day, mate. Whatever happened to Trey Sermon? Still on the team. I saw him Super Bowl media night, but he was never active on the roster. He got a carry during that Jacksonville game, in which he was okay. But Elijah, Borat freestyle. You're on the clock, homie.
So I got it. I'm starting.
Pressure's on you, G. You gotta put yourself on camera though, and then Trace will do his beer bomb. This is gonna be epic.
This is the dumbest shit. All right. Hello, my name is Borat. I have a lot of bars. My neighbor, his name isn't Bilo. He does not have a nice car. I am from Kazakhstan. It's #1 country. I visit America to listen to country. This beer bong is spilling. I'm going to take it down now. Oh my God, it's dripping.
The top's not on all the way.
And down goes the beer because he is sipping.
Dude, it's fucked up.
I know.
It's the whole thing is fucked up. It won't go down any further.
He did it though.
Won't go down any further. Oh, yeah, I did my beer bong. It was very cold.
I
It's
did my
dripping
beer bong, and
everywhere.
here's the song.
It's dripping everywhere, and I look very old.
Oh my goodness.
Dumbest shit ever.
The OG crew is back.
It's back,
What's
baby.
good, squad?
We're back.
Shit.
Back at it like a crack addict.
What are y'all going to do when we do our alcohol ones we talked about?
Oh,
That starts Wednesday, boys.
I've been thinking about it too.
I'm thinking about that when Wednesday
How many
comes.
days?
I'm thinking about that when Wednesday comes.
Oh, how many?
How many days are you doing
40.
it?
40.
40?
I'm realistic.
Actually, I'm doing 75 hard.
I'm
75
realistic. I'm going to still drink on the weekends because I'm realistic with myself, but I'm not going to drink during the week. On days I work, no drinking. Unless it's like watch parties or something. But watch parties isn't during
So that means I can't do shotguns on shows if I were to follow
we could get
those rules.
non-alcoholic beer.
They have these things called recess.
Oh,
we could
Duel-
get-
Oh, Duels is
We could get
non-alcoholic
O'Doul's.
beer, right?
Busch Light has a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah. CBD beers? I know some places
I
have
do
like
CBD
CBD
beer.
cocktails.
I do a CBD beer.
That's right. Where was that at? Nice. When do you leave to go to the NO? Oh, tonight?
Oh, damn.
Sweet.
Very nice. Everyone,
Abby's going
type
to New
Abby.
Orleans.
Type Abby because she's going to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. So type Abby so that way she doesn't get kidnapped and die because that would be unfortunate. We love Abby here on the
Yeah,
Eagles Now.
that-
That's what I'm saying. We don't want it to happen. We don't want it to happen. That's what I'm saying.
We got Abby to NO in the chat. We have like 3 more wheel spins, I think.
We also got
and then we
two.
just had another super chat come in from Connor Glennon. Who are your top 5 corners in this draft? Ooh.
Kelly Ringo.
Dude, I kind of like Joey Porter the best, honestly. Joey Porter, in no particular order. Joey Porter, Cam Smith, Keely Ringo, Devin Witherspoon. And then after that, I think there's a big drop-off. So those are 4 right there.
Oh,
Those are 4 right
This
there.
is important. This is important. Shout out Peter for telling us this.
Vance Joseph was just released by the Cardinals. That is of note.
Interesting.
Thank you, Peter.
information. Thanks,
We
Pete.
talked about Vance Joseph earlier on today. All right, a few more wheel spins here. Let's call it 3 more. I really don't know, but it's probably 2, but I just want to hang out. Not another freestyle rap. I just want to rock.
Damn! Damn! I just want to rock. Body yaddy ya. Shawty got that body yaddy ya.
It's fantastic.
It's so fucking
Why would you go anywhere else for entertainment?
Nowhere. There's nowhere to go.
All right, another wheel spin.
Let's see.
$5. We'll keep spinning this
That's
piece.
another freestyle.
Oh, no.
I can do this one. Since you did too.
All right.
I can do this one. We're spinning the wheel and we're spitting them bars. When I get off, I'm going to hop in my car. I'm going to get some drinks and feel like I'm on Mars. Because when I go out, I'm going to the bars. Bam. There
And
you
spitting
go.
bars.
Yeah, it's a double entendre.
Double entendre.
It's a double entendre.
That's what they call a double entendre, folks.
It's a double entendre.
All right, spin that John again.
If it's freestyle rap, we're signing off. That's just what it's come down to. Abel, or not Abel, Izzle, Abby, Izzle,
Another
you'll
Abby
be happy.
beer cheers.
Abby beer cheers.
You can spin it again. We can do
We can
something
spin
else.
again.
We have no more beer
We're
left.
out of beer. Unfortunately.
And no one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're from Philly, fucking Philly. No one likes us. We don't care. No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're the Eagles, the fucking Eagles. No one likes us. We don't care. All right, if we get a $100 super chat, I will put on the dolphin costume with my eagle foam head.
And then we can also slap Sperry.
And we can slap Sperry, who said that the James Bradbury call was the right call.
Do y'all want me to read the tweets that he put out? He was suggesting that regardless of the situation, no matter what, he's like, even the picture of Juju getting held that's like doesn't look like a hold, he's like, doesn't even matter. Because ball placement doesn't matter in that situation. It's a penalty. And I'm like, dude,
Weak sauce.
stop brown nosing the rule book.
Weak sauce.
We fly in, we fly out, we fly high in the sky no matter what. Eagles will do their best, but in future have another fly in to win the Super Bowl. End of the day, we're always still the Eagles fans. Damn straight. Damn straight, soda can.
Damn straight.
Damn straight.
Soda can, Eagle LK.
Aussie kickers are the best because Australian Football League.
Yeah, my pops played Aussie rules football growing up.
Did he really?
Yeah, dude,
That's
we
sick.
used to play like pickup football, and he used to like punt for us, and it was the most majestic thing.
I mean,
when we were like 10 years old, to see that punt just go so high and
Yeah.
to like track it down.
Well, and then it also has the boom.
Yeah.
Like you can hear it. You can hear it. It's
spin
just
too.
yeah.
And then the Aussies really started to experiment with the rugby kip, like the end over end punt. One more wheel spin. Let's do it. Sign off in the Borat voice. Oh, wow. It was so close to another freestyle. All right. Another 2-minute shot clock here. 2-minute shot clock.
We're going to sign off. We're doing the Borat voices. It's very nice.
Today's show is very nice.
It was a great success. We
Super
got
chats, how much? $134.
$134. Great success.
Great success.
Jalen Hurts is king of the castle. King of the castle.
So here's the super chat menu. We're 25 seconds into our 2-minute shot clock. Super chats, we stay live. No super chats, we sign off, and it's all Gucci. Yeah, dude, I don't understand how people can work in a workplace and treat it as their fucking bedroom.
It's not even their bedroom. It's their fucking laundry room.
That's what, like
It's not even
Bro,
a bedroom. Like, my
what
bedroom's
is
picked
that?
up. Dude, it's a pair of, it's a jacket,
Like, I wouldn't be able to leave work.
shorts, dude.
Unbelievable.
Well, and it's hilarious because you can tell exactly.
Elijah with the 10.
Elijah.
That resets the shot clock. We'll go back to 2 minutes here. We'll go back to 2 minutes.
You have to do 10
Shit.
jumping jacks.
Wait, shit. There we go. 10 jumping jacks.
You're
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Also, Mitch's Juju Smith-Schuster picture was incredible. This one.
Yes, yes, yes. Amazing.
All right, 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes. A lot of Americans love the AFL from Cool Rains. John O'Malley said, "Why is that, bro?" People love Aussie rules football. It's actually pretty fun.
What?
You have to dribble every 10 yards.
Wait,
the
wait, wait.
football is more of like an oval shape.
It's like a rugby ball, kind of?
Kinda. It has laces, and you have to kick the footy, is what they call it, in between these like 4 goalposts. So there's like a shorter one, a higher one, and a higher one next to each other, same height. And then the other shorter one on the other side is the other shorter one. And you have to kick it through that.
So
You
when
can punch the ball to one another. You can't throw it.
You
You can punch it like this,
That's
underhand punch it, or
crazy.
kick it to somebody,
So
or pitch it back.
So you can't throw the ball downfield. You
Can't
but
throw the ball.
Do you can hand the ball off, I'm assuming, or you
Can't.
you have to pitch it. You can't.
You have to pitch it like
Okay.
this, like a punch.
So that's similar to rugby. That's
Yeah.
interesting. That actually sounds pretty cool. I might have to check that out.
Now explain cricket. By the way, 140 into our clock. 140 into our clock. We're $6 away from 150. May as well get there, right? May as well. What was I saying? Oh, Izzy B said cricket. Cricket, you throw overhand like this. You can't bend your arm. You have to wing it like that. And you have, what do you call the little sticks? No, they're not crochet. Yeah, and the bowler is what they call it. Has to bowl the ball, and it has to bounce before it hits the sticks. And if it hits the sticks, that's basically like a strike. But the guys can like stand there with padding. The ball's really hard. You have to hit the ball. Cricket's fun.
Dude, I literally watched like cricket on ESPN, I think on Saturday for like an hour. Just watching it go down. Like I was
Cricket's
like,
fun.
this is crazy. Like I
Cricket's
didn't
a good
really
game.
understand it. I was like, this is just crazy.
The boss man.
The boss man.
Thank you, James.
he hit back.
He's right
He hit
behind
back.
me. He said, "Sup." All right, we're 4 away. We're 4 away from $150. We're not signing off until we get to $150. If we get to 200, what can I do? Do we have another costume outside of the dolphin? If we get to 200, I'll do something else. With the eagle foam head. 4 away from 150. Izzy B wants a job here at Chat Sports. Cool Rains explaining the Aussie rules football. Oh, come here. Bring me that. Hey, there's 20 from Elijah. Hey, if we get to $300 in Super Chats, we're at 166. Trace will wear this dress. He will wear this dress for 300.
300.
Oh my goodness. We're at 166. We're at 166. There's no way we get there, right? How funny would that be? Trizzy in a dress. That would be ridiculous. We need Flippin' the Bird. We need Tim Time. Yes. Izzy with the 5. Make him free ball in it. He can. He would have to. Izzy B with the 5. We'll spin the wheel for Izzy. I got to do 20 more push-ups for Elijah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
There you go, Chase. All right, we'll spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
Soda can, 300 for Trizzy in the dress. Who made that decision? Trace did.
I did.
Spin it again. We got to get something else other than the Borat voices.
This is getting out of hand.
But that spin was very nice.
It's great. It's success. Do something good.
No, come
We've
on.
already
Why do we keep Lamb on the same
Why does
ones?
it keep I'm taking Borat out. Taking Borat out. Sorry about it.
Where is Tim Timmy? Now we're 29 away from 200.
Karaoke?
Eagles now karaoke.
What song?
I used to pray for times like this to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that to shine like this. And no matter time I spent on some locked up shit in the back of the paddy wagon, cuff locks on wrist. There we go. That's my karaoke. Right off the dome.
Off the dome. Don't even need it.
Michael Locker, Cry Eagles Cry. Yeah, I wanted to cry after Sunday. Instead, I threw a football at Will's chair. That was my source of release.
So, Izzle.
I can't see you. What are you doing? Hold? Fuck you, man. Producer Coop just came in and went, holding on the Eagles.
Izzle.
I'll
you
never
don't
get
have
over
to donate. It's all right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Also, still, shout out.
Soda Can said,
Prayers out to
bruh,
the
if it reached 300 and Trace wears the dress, I'm dead.
You guys act like I wouldn't do it. That's the scary part.
There's
Oh my
5
God,
from
should we get
Philly
Tex in
Big
there?
Dog.
Should we get Tex in the dress?
You would like it. Philly Big Dog with the 5. Super sticker. We're 24 away from 2 bills.
Come on. 24
away from 200. All right, we'll spin the wheel again.
At 300, I'm putting on the dress. Don't forget.
300, Trace is putting on the dress.
Also, if you have an idea for the
Put
wheel,
Trizzy in the dress.
if you have an idea for the wheel, send it in your super chat, and we might be able to add it to it.
Yeah, if you want to add something to the wheel, you can include it on your $5 super chat.
All right, let's see.
What do we got?
Freedom funnel.
Freedom funnel.
Oh, that's a new one.
All right.
I'll go grab it.
There we
I
go.
can go grab it.
Trace will do the freedom funnel. Trizzy freedom funnel. Oh boy. That's funny stuff. $124 from Trace wearing the dress. Put Trizzy in the dress. By the way, our whole first, let's see. We've been live for an hour 40. Our whole first hour was all football talk. Now we're just chopping it up with everybody. Jenkins Gaming. Chase, would you try the 30th overall pick for Jalen Ramsey? Oh, I would do it in a heartbeat, but the Rams won't accept it. By the way, Trace, Izzy said, Tritzy wants the dress. He may be freaky enough to hang with me. Any responses?
Izzle, you're on the on deck circle. I'm sorry, girl. There's quite a few people who want a little piece of Trizzy.
Well,
sorry about it.
You don't want to say on deck circle because that
Like
means
you're
that she's
okay.
next
You're in the
after
batting
current.
order way down there. My bad. You're not like we got some. I'm just taking this funnel.
Abby, that wasn't a good response. He fumbled that one a little bit. Jason Stauffer. Chase, what are your thoughts on Vance Joseph and the 3-4 for defensive coordinator, Brian Johnson or Eric Bieniemy for OC? Jonathan Gannon let Vance go today. He'll interview with the Eagles. Yeah, so we talked about Vance Joseph earlier on our first segment today. He was officially let go by Gannon and the Cardinals. The Eagles were set to request to interview him, according to Josina Anderson. His defenses have been solid. He's a veteran defensive coordinator, and the veteran part of that I do like. But his defenses haven't always performed all that well. I don't really hold what a guy does as a head coach against him if he's going to be a coordinator. So, I won't hold that against him. The 3-4-4-3 scheme change, Nick Sirianni said he wants to keep the scheme the same. So I don't think that he's going to change that. As for offensive coordinator, it's Brian Johnson. It's not going to be Eric Bieniemy. Bieniemy's going to interview with Washington. He interviewed today, actually, And Brian Johnson's going to be the shoe-in. Adam Schefter said he is the guy. He will be the guy, and sounded very definitive with that. John O'Malley said, where's the dress? You just showed it. Yeah. It's red with polka dots. All right. We're getting close to the end here. Last call. We'll go 2 minutes once more. 2 minutes once more.
The dress is Versace.
Versace dress. Polka dot Versace dress. Trace will wear it if we get to 300 in supers. We're at 176 right now. Chug's got it one time because he had to wear it on Cowboys or something like that.
Versace, Medusa head on me like I'm Illuminati.
It is a good song, John. Big John in the house. Great show today. Nice little audience. We're a minute into our 2-minute shot clock. Any super chats? We'll kick it for a bit. If not, we out. John O'Malley said we know the culture. We do.
Culture.
Izzy B. He was just kidding around, Izzy.
I'm just joking around with you, okay?
It's all love.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to joke around.
It's all good. He's just messing with you. He's taken. That's all. He's taken. And him and I are going on a date tomorrow together.
Facts. We're going to get all dressed up. We're going to put on nice shirts. It's going to be great.
Yeah. All right. We're going to sign off. We out. Thanks to everybody who tuned in today. It was a lot of fun. Nearly 300 people were watching us live at one point. We gave you about an hour of Eagles content, off-season rumors, coaching news, all that and a lot more. And keep it locked here for more Eagles content on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Have a fantastic weekend. And, of course, turn on those noties, subscribe. Therefore, when we push out a video, you'll know about it.